Well, hi everybody. It's Ruth Medlin of the Influencer Community here this afternoon in downtown Cincinnati. And we're at the Hamilton County Library. And we're up here on the second floor at this cool place called MakerSpace. And this is Nate Pelly. No relation to Scott Pelly, he tells us. But we're not sure yet. We don't know. And Nate's agreed to give us like a tour of what's going on here. Tell us a little bit more about how this came about and maybe point out a couple of cool things.
Absolutely. So, the MakerSpace, you may look around as you come here for the first time, and yes, this is a library, but you might notice we don't have a lot of books here. So what the MakerSpace is, it's a place where people can come and have access to equipment and to technology that they wouldn't necessarily have access to in other places. So things like 3D printers, laser engravers, a recording booth, and all the other cool stuff that we have here. We really focus on having technology and equipment that appeals to all ages and all skill levels. Sometimes MakerSpaces might just be for kids or teenagers, but we try to have something for everybody. We also try to have something that isn't just a very tech heavy, so we have things like sewing, photography, button making, some of the other great things that we have here as well. And of course we help a lot of small businesses and nonprofits all day long, every day.
So we're looking at the plaque here that tells us how this all came about, right?
Yep.
And you said it's about 4 years old now?
Yep, we're just a little over 4 years old. We opened back in January of 2015. So
Wow.
we have all the great donors and stuff like that who helped us out.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great space, and I'll be happy to show you guys around.
Let's go take a look. All right, you lead the way.
All right.
So how long have you worked here?
So I've actually worked for the library for 20 years.
No.
I know.
Get out. You started when you were 12.
Just about, yeah. So I've actually worked, I've been here in the MakerSpace since the MakerSpace opened. Before that, I worked as part of the Technology Center, which is our computer library here at the main library. So my first several years with the library, I worked in our Education Religion department back when there was such a thing here at the main library. And then I kind of went in a different direction. I went more the tech side of things versus the more traditional library side of things. So I often joke with people that yes, I work in the library, but I may not touch a book for several days at a time sometimes. So,
do you have a degree in library science? Or?
I do not have my degree in library science.
Okay.
That's interesting. Is that most of the people who work in the MakerSpace, we're looking for people who have graphic design backgrounds, technology backgrounds, computer backgrounds, things like that. So, sort of different than what you would typically think of an MLS or Master of Library Science type degree.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But that makes perfect sense too, based on what you do.
Yep.
So we stopped here at the button making place.
Yes, we have button makers.
I can't resist this. I love this stuff. So,
I tell people all the time when the space opened here and, we found out that we're getting, several button makers. I said, oh, that's cute. Not realizing just how popular buttons could be. I mean, there's days where, it's not uncommon for people to come in and, make 100 buttons, 200 buttons, 500 buttons.
Right.
There's been days where we've sold over 2,000 buttons in a single day.
Wow.
So, it's a very, very popular thing. It's great for all ages. Again, all ages, all skill levels. A 3-year-old can do this. A 93-year-old can make a button as well. We see people make them for advertising campaigns, just for giveaways, or maybe their events and stuff like that. We see kids who may be running for class president. They come in, they make their buttons and hand them out and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Not only can you make buttons, though, you can also make magnets and keychains. So.
Oh, magnets and keychains.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking, don't you? I'm thinking for the conference, we need to be down here making some buttons. So we'll be back. We're coming.
And the really cool thing is, for anything here at the MakerSpace, we're not a typical business in that we're looking to make a profit here. So what we're doing is we're selling things at cost to you. So the buttons, they're 10 cents a piece. The magnets are 15 cents a piece. The keychains are 40 cents a piece.
Wow, that's cheap.
So, pretty good pricing there.
Yeah.
And certainly a great way to get your creativity kind of flowing there.
And so do you I love buttons, but how do you who comes up with the designs and
Sure. So, some people have their own design, obviously, when they come in.
Okay.
We do have some templates available on our computers as well as through our website. So basically, you can drop in an image into this Microsoft Word template. It's going to put it in the perfect circle there, make it really easy for you to punch out here and make your button in just a couple seconds.
Don't you think that's great? I mean, I'm so excited. We need to bring everybody down here. We're going to bring everybody down here and they're going to make buttons. We're going to make buttons. This is fun. Okay, what's next, Nate?
Let's go hit our vinyl printer over here, see this guy in action.
I know, I was so excited to see this.
So this is our, we have two vinyl printers and cutters here. These are two of our more popular pieces of equipment. So we see a lot of people come and make signs, banners, stickers, it looks like in this case. We have several different types of material you can print on. By far the most popular is our outdoor banner material. So people, like I said, make signs and banners, things like that.
Right.
We also have a glossy paper type of material, which is like a poster board type of consistency. So it's great for pictures, maybe things you're going to be hanging up indoors, science projects, things like that. We also have the sticker material, so we have white and clear adhesive. If you check out the quotes around on the wall here, those are all printed on the printer here.
Oh, wow.
But we often see people make decals, bumper stickers, things like that. And then we also have a static cling material, which we have just one example up over here right now. We're constantly having to take it down as we clean the windows. But we do have a white and clear static cling as well, so you can print directly on that and then put it up on glass. Couple of the really cool things about the vinyl printers, the way we charge you is based off of length of your project. So each roll of material is 30 inches wide. The printable area is about 28 inches, maybe 20.5 inches, so it doesn't have to go all the way to the edges quite. But what we charge you is based off of length. So it's $2 per foot for printing. So if you're printing a 5-foot banner,
that's a good deal.
$10. Yeah, that's
$2 per foot for printing.
Yeah,
you can't beat that.
Pretty
This is like
incredible
yet another one of those Cincinnati hidden gems that I'm always talking about, right? I always talk about all the cool things that are in Cincinnati, and very few people know about them. So we're spreading the word. We're out there spreading the word.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay. Wow.
We'll move over here to our laser cutter and engraver. So this is another one of our more popular pieces of equipment. This is super rare to see it not in use, so we can actually get up a little bit closer to it and not have to shout because it's pretty loud sometimes. But what you can do with this guy is you can etch or engrave or cut on a variety of different materials. So for example, we have this piece right here. This doubles as an example of a project that was done on the machine, as well as a list of the approved and unapproved materials that you can use on the machine. So by far the most common thing people do is etch or cut with wood. Wood is by far the most popular thing. You can also etch on things like glass. So we have our little example here of the mug sitting back here.
You wanted to do like wedding glass or something,
Absolutely.
right?
We see a lot of people doing wedding favors, things like that. You can also cut your typical things you might think like paper and stuff like that. You can also etch on things like stone and marble and granite, cut things like acrylic, a whole bunch of other really cool things you can do on this machine.
I love that.
The cool thing about the laser engraver is we do sell small pieces of wood, 5x7 size pieces of wood here for $1.50. Otherwise, if you bring your own material, it is absolutely free to use it. So if you were to go to, say, Michael's or whatever store you prefer and grab a piece of wood, you can come in here and use the laser engraver for free.
Oh my gosh.
So one thing I should mention, I always like to talk about this too, is that pretty much everything you see here in the MakerSpace, you can make a reservation or an appointment online to use. Some things you absolutely want to do this with. The laser engraver, as I said, it's kind of rare to see it empty right now. Typically, this guy is booked up every minute of every day for about 5 to 6 weeks in advance. So the fact that it's open right now,
oh my gosh,
pretty rare. The vinyl printers that we just talked about, those can be booked, 3, 4, 5 days in advance. So it's probably a good idea to book ahead on that. Depending on what the piece of equipment is, you might be able to walk in and find it open that day. Certainly the button makers you can come and use anytime. Some things you want to book a couple days in advance, especially maybe if you're going to come in on Saturday or Sunday, definitely book in advance.
So can you book online for it?
You can.
You can book online, or you can call too, or
only online, but it is
only online. Okay.
through our website, CincinnatiLibrary.org. You'll see on the left-hand side there's a section that says MakerSpace. You click on that. There's a section underneath that says Reserve a Station. You just use your library card to make that reservation.
Wow. And I know we're getting ready to head to the sewing section, and I was really surprised to see the quality of sewing machines here.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are like really high-tech sewing machines.
Yeah,
wow.
we just had somebody actually a few minutes ago. She was just finishing up a project. We just missed her. But yeah, we have actually 3 sewing machines we have available free for public use. So you can come in and anytime, do a little sewing. We see some people who are actually creating their own, clothing and stuff like that. We see some people who, just need to hem a pair of pants or things like that.
I was going to say quilting.
We see quite a bit of quilting as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that people can do with the sewing machines. And as I said, this is a good example of a piece of technology that we offer here that kind of, we don't see a lot of overlap between the sewers and the laser cutter folks, for example. But it's all about the idea of having something in the space, hopefully for everybody.
Now you
all skill
need to
levels.
get one of the long arms that does the actual quilting.
We
That's the next thing.
we always have a wish list of
I
what's
bet
to
you
come.
do.
So
I bet you do.
there's always more things on the horizon.
Yeah, this is very cool.
We have our UV printer over here. This is actually our newest piece of equipment.
Okay.
We just got this guy about a month and a half ago. So, Pearl, I'm going to borrow your piece here.
Wow.
So this was on canvas. So what the UV printer does is it prints directly onto a variety of different types of materials. So in this case, this is just a canvas piece, full color print there. But you can print on just about anything you can imagine as long as it's a flat surface. So we have, for example, this is a piece of wood, but it's actually a puzzle.
How clever is that?
So we just kind of use the backing on there so you could keep it all together. But these are actually puzzle pieces you can take off.
Wow.
We've seen people print on everything from phone cases to, obviously wood, glass, metal, a whole bunch of different objects and materials. So
That's just amazing.
yep.
Now, how much does it cost to do this?
So for most projects, we charge off of the ink usage, and for most projects, it doesn't get any more than $2.50. So far, I've seen one person make it all the way up to $5.
Wow.
So that's about the max that you're looking at.
Wow.
But again, you bring your new material, it's free to use, or I should say it's, $2.50. We do have some material here you can buy from us, like the wood, for example, or we do have 8x10 pieces of foam core you can buy from us.
Wow. This is amazing.
Pretty cool stuff.
I love that.
We'll keep moving over here to check out our 3D printers.
Oh my gosh. See, we're headed to 3D printing. This is like the way of the future, right? Wow.
So it looks like this project just finished up on there. We have a heart in there.
Oh my goodness. He did.
And then we have a project, kind of mid-project over here. I'm not sure what this is going to be yet, but you can see it building itself out there.
Wow. I love that.
So we have our 3D printers. Very exciting, as you mentioned, very popular and stuff like that. The wave of the future, as they say, is 3D printing. We have some example pieces over here of things that people can pick up and touch and feel and see what 3D printing is all about.
Oh my goodness.
Probably the two biggest misconceptions about 3D printing is the amount of time that it takes to 3D print something. So for example, the chess piece that you have there, the king, something of that size would take about 50 minutes to an hour, give or take, to print.
Got it.
Which is still pretty incredible when you're starting off with a thin piece of plastic and it makes something out of it.
Look at that.
But occasionally, people might say, hey, I want to print a football helmet. And I say, that would take about 36 hours. So we can't do that. But there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do. This is actually, we scanned the head of one of our coworkers here. This is actually his head 3D printed.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, this is just wonderful.
So all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, how much is the material? I mean, like, how much would it cost to make something like this?
So the king right there, if I remember correctly, it's 10 cents per gram is what we charge. I believe that ended up being about 50 cents. So
Amazing.
pretty cheap. Yeah, it's really hard with the 3D printer to get over $1 or $2 with your piece because of the amount of time that it takes to print. And we do have time limits on the printers. So
Right. Wow.
And you have people here to help if
absolutely. And that's one of the cool things about the MakerSpace too is we don't expect you to just come in and we're going to turn you loose on the 3D printer or the laser cutter or whatever it might be. We're here to help you. If you have questions and stuff like that as you go through your project, that's what we're here to help with.
And we're coming up on the music section. I can just kind of feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple Mac stations here, and we also have some PCs just set up here in the middle of the room as well. One of the more underrated things that the MakerSpace offers, in my opinion, is the access to all the software that we have. So on the Mac stations as well as the PCs, we have the entire Adobe Creative Suite. So you have all your Photoshop and Illustrator and Premiere and Dreamweaver and all that great stuff,
All of Adobe.
which,
Wow.
is not cheap nowadays.
No, it's not. Wow.
So we do offer access to all of that. We also have the Autodesk suite. So a lot of the 3D design programs that are out there, we have that available as well. And then, for example, in the Mac stations here, some of your more typical Apple products like GarageBand, iMovie, things like that. On this particular one, we have, of course, the keyboard set up so you can create your own music or your own beats.
Wow.
Really, really cool stuff.
Amazing.
Absolutely. We can take a look over here. We do have our recording booth, and I think there was somebody there's somebody in there right now.
Oh, and they're recording like a song.
I think actually she might be, she's been doing some recording for her book, so she's doing an audiobook right now.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, lots of cool different things. But we see people doing podcasts, obviously.
And with these names listed here, what
These are all just bands or artists who have a tie to Cincinnati of some sort.
Oh, okay, right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Bootsy Collins has been here, but he's not been in the recording booth, kind of thing. So
Oh, yeah. I was like,
Otherwise, he would have signed it. Right?
he probably would have, or left a hat behind
Knowing
for us, or
Bootsy,
maybe.
he
I
probably
wondered
could
if
have
you had
signed
the
it.
Isley brothers in the recording booth.
That'd be fun, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
We have our video and photography area over here, so we keep our
Yes.
green screen set up most of the time.
Yes.
But we do have some other backdrops. We have a white backdrop or a black backdrop as well, if you'd rather use that. This is absolutely free to use, so you just come in, use it. We do have a camera that you can borrow from us for use here in the MakerSpace. Otherwise, you can bring your own, and that's perfectly fine. I should mention also the recording booth is free to use as well.
Wow.
So
That's just amazing.
absolutely. I have one last thing I'll show you guys.
Oh boy. Okay.
This will kind of bring it all full circle.
That's
little
very
walk through.
cool. Are we making books now?
We are. So, as I like to say, since we are a library and we are a makerspace, it should make all the sense in the world that you can make your own book here. And that's
No.
what this machine is. This is the espresso book machine. As I always say, not to be confused with the cappuccino book machine, but the espresso book machine. So this is from a company called On Demand Books.
Okay.
They have a website called ondemandbooks.com.
Okay.
You can go to their website and you can download books from their catalog. Mostly, older, all copyright-free books, things like Anne of Green Gables.
Aww.
And then you can download it and print it directly right here on the printer.
Wow.
That's what about 1% of people do. What most people who are using this machine are doing is they're self-publishing.
Right, right.
So, we can help you get your book designed, the cover design and everything like that. You meet with a staff member, they'll make sure that it's formatted properly on the inside. And we'll go through all the steps with you. You can get an ISBN with us if you like. We can get you a Library of Congress control number. You can even get your book added to the library's collection if that's the route that you wanted to go. So, again, that's what most people are doing with this machine.
I can't believe that. Does this do spiral bound?
It does not. It only does paperback,
Okay.
like what you're looking like here.
Okay. But you could get it printed and then go someplace else and have it bound
Absolutely.
spirally.
You could, absolutely.
Correct? And how much? Oh, I see.
We've got pricing over here. So there is a one-time setup fee. If you're doing self-publishing, there's a one-time setup fee of $40. That's basically
Okay.
we come in, meet with that staff member, they go over everything with you, can help you with that cover design. It's 6 cents a page, and then $2.50 for the cover.
Okay.
A book could be about $50-ish, give or take.
Right.
After that, though, each additional copy, we're just charging pages and cover. So depending on the size of your book, that could be $4, $6, something like that.
So
per
it
book.
goes down exponentially once you do the first
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that makes sense. Wow, this is exciting.
It is, and probably my favorite thing about the book machine is that from the time you hit print over here on the computer till the time you get a book drop out here at the side, it's typically about 5 to 7 minutes. So it's super quick from the time that you say go till you actually are holding your book in your hands.
Okay, I just have to say to all those people, myself included, who are talking always about getting their books published, this is the place to come, right? Because you can get help with the setup, you can get help with the design of the jacket, and for a nominal setup fee of like $40, you can get your first book published. I just think that's so exciting. I'm coming tomorrow.
We'll see you then. We'll be here. And we are open regular library hours. So, we're here at the main library downtown Cincinnati on the second floor. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 9. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 6. Sunday, 1 to 5.
Wow. And there's always somebody here, would you have to make an appointment to do this?
So this you do want to make an appointment to use.
Okay.
You would call or email us ahead of time.
Okay.
The machine itself takes about 45 minutes or so to set up. So we want to make sure that it's all warmed up and stuff
Ready
like
to
that
go.
for you.
Yeah.
and then have somebody like that we can just dedicate to working with you one-on-one to set up your book.
Is that not cool? I tell you, book publishers, we're going to come down there right away.
Watch out, yeah.
I know, be careful. Nate, thank you so much for the
Absolutely.
extra time today. We really
Sure.
appreciate all the help. And this is just phenomenal. I mean, we're like always talking about influencers, and this is definitely an influencer in our community. So thanks again. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. Hope
Yeah.
to see everybody come and check us out soon.
We'll be back. Thanks.